This is the Fox 13 6 o'clock news.
As many of us start preparing for our 4th of July celebrations, lots of others remember today as a terrible one in Tampa history. The day a man named Billy Ferry walked into the Claremelle Winn-Dixie, throwing gasoline and igniting it. Fox 13's Tanya Arja talked to one of the survivors.
On July 2nd, 1983, a vagrant man walked into the Winn-Dixie supermarket in Claremelle City, Florida with a paint bucket filled with gasoline. The man doused several customers and employees before setting the place ablaze. 18 people suffered from burns and 5 were killed. The vagrant man's name was Bill Ferry, and he visited the store frequently. A week prior to the attack, Ferry was refused a refund on some food he purchased that he claimed was spoiled and told the cashier that he would come back and firebomb the store. The cashier told her manager, but the threat wasn't taken seriously. One of the victims of the attack, 20-year-old Leanne Carter, normally worked at the Winn-Dixie store in Brandon, Florida, but was asked to help the store in Claremelle for the holiday weekend. Leanne's brother David said that Ferry targeted his sister because he mistook her for the cashier that refused his refund the week earlier. Before going to work, Leanne shared with her father, brother, and a close friend that she didn't want to go to work at the other store because she had a premonition that she would die there. Her friend urged her to take it seriously, but her father told her she had to deal with her fears and work through it, advice he deeply regretted.
So far, 2 people are dead, another is not expected to live, and 5 others are in critical condition. Before the bombing, neighbors saw Ferry right on this wall near the store. Billy can't handle it. See? Fire.
Rhonda Voss says her brother Billy has always been a little different, claiming the entire family has tried to get him psychiatric help over the years. It came to a head almost 2 months ago when Ferry destroyed some property around his sister's house. She called the police, but nothing could be done.
I told him then, I said, sir, somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody is going to get hurt if something is not done.
Leanne's death had a huge impact on the Carter family, especially on Leanne's brother David, who considered her his closest friend. After her passing, David was depressed, writing in her obituary that without her, the world felt big and empty. David's mother, Nita, said that the incident changed her. She hated Bill Ferry in a way she'd never hated anyone before. She wanted both him and his son to suffer, and prayed that she would never have grandchildren, because she couldn't bear the anxiety that something horrible would happen to them as well. David's father, Gene, often had dreams of Leanne coming home, and for years her family left her room exactly how she left it the night she died. 5 years after Leanne's death, David attempted suicide, but survived. Still, he was filled with unbearable sadness. That was all changed suddenly, on a Saturday morning in 1994.
Welcome to the Sci-Fi Channel's Anime Film Festival. Groovy. We are rocking your world with the hottest craze in entertainment today. It's a Japanese take on animation called anime. I'm the live-action anime girl and your guide.
Ever since David was young, David was a fan of Japanese entertainment, including Japanese anime and the Japanese series Ultraman. As a fan of anime in the 90s, David was an avid viewer of the Sci-Fi Channel's Anime Saturday, a Saturday morning programming block featuring a selection of anime from Akira to Galaxy Express 9, all hosted by Apollo Smile, the live-action anime girl. During an airing of the anime Project Echo, an anime originally developed as pornography that was edited prior to release so that it would reach a wider market, David said he felt Jesus reaching out to him. The character Seiko Kotobuki reminded David so much of his sister that he knew it was a sign from Jesus, telling him that his sister was watching over him. David fell in love with the anime and the character Seiko, believing that this was finally his opportunity to say goodbye. David quickly decided that in order to have closure and come to terms with his sister's death, he needed to go to Japan and meet Seiko's Japanese voice actress, Michie Tomizawa. Tomizawa has played many beloved anime characters, but also Jeanne from Southern Cross. But she's best known for providing the voice of Sailor Mars in the Japanese dub of Sailor Moon. Ironically, Tomizawa is said to currently speak fluent English. However, in 1994, her English was limited almost exclusively to the discography of George Michael.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away.
That didn't stop David though, who left for Japan a year later with 2 goals. 1, to meet Michie Tomizawa, and 2, was to climb to the top of Tokyo Tower. David successfully arranged a meeting with Tomizawa. Accompanied by her agent and boyfriend, an interpreter relayed David's story to Tomizawa, who offered condolences and gave David several Project Echo soundtrack CDs. While in Tokyo, David also visited Tokyo Tower and successfully climbed to the highest floor. That same year, David found out that Tori D. McClinton, a songwriter credited with the song Just Love One Love, a song sung by Michie Tomizawa, actually lived nearby in Snellville, Georgia. David wrote to him telling him his story about meeting Tomizawa and the connection he felt with Seiko because of the tragedy surrounding his sister. McClinton wrote back only saying, "Go Seiko," which David found to be somewhat dismissive. A year later, in 1996, when the Olympics came to Atlanta, David paid $35 to dedicate a brick in the Centennial Olympic Park to Leanne. The brick, which remains in the park to this day, reads, "Yahoo! We love Seiko Kotobuki." In 2001, David wished to give a tribute to Leanne at her 20th reunion at M.D. Collins High School. Unfortunately, the school refused his request due to the recent September 11th attacks, which they claimed already weighed heavily on everyone. In 2013, 20 years after Leanne's passing, David and his mother were interviewed in a story covering the 20th anniversary of the arson attack. In the interview, David revealed that he wrote to Ferry offering forgiveness, but received no reply. Despite the relief he felt after writing to Ferry, David said that the tragedy ruined his idealism. You can try to be the perfect person and love everybody, but it won't keep you from being a victim. If you're wondering what David's up to today, well, he actually has a YouTube channel where he uploads somewhat frequently, almost an average of 2 videos a week. These videos range from topics such as right-wing politics, stories about his youth, which range from meeting Jimmy Osmond, one of the low-tier members of the Osmond family, to his interactions with aliens, issues facing society like the feminization of young boys, as well as issues we just face in our everyday life, like in this video where he talks about how he bought a copy of the film The Cat in the Hat from Goodwill, and it turned out to be a bootleg. These videos are dense, often hard to watch, repeat a lot of clips, and have titles that are often written in Arabic. Altogether, this channel paints the picture of someone who suffers from severe paranoia, so even if I do find a lot of the content here absurd, I don't feel anything malicious towards David. Or at least that was how I felt before I found all the pedo stuff.